Full this is. And this is Xbox gameplay? This is
We don't know exactly
insane.
what they're doing here, but assume they're gonna be in your way.
What is poppin', squad? It is your boy, and as you guys can see, yes, it is true. There are weather cycles in Division 2. As you can see, I am playing in the rain right now, and I pretty much wanted to make this video about certain things, a little questions people have been asking that I could probably answer. And one of the main ones people have been asking me to make sure to see is if there's any weather changes, because we didn't have that in Division 1. So as you can see, it is raining. I don't know if it's random or if it's on a time cycle, but from when we played, it did go from day to like evening to night, and then it ended up raining, and then it ended up clearing up afterwards. So apparently there are weather cycles, and this is something huge for me personally, because I remember playing Division 1 survival, and right when I jumped in that the first time, I was like shook by the idea that the game looks entirely different when you add weather to it. So that little blizzard we had in survival was the only thing we got to see. We never got to see it in the open world or in the dark zone. But in Division 2, obviously you can see in the open world during a regular exploration weather cycle happen. I'm not sure if they plan on having any other weather cycles, but as far as I know, it only makes sense that in Washington that there's rain. So we do have rain. It does get dark. It does get nighttime. It does get daytime. So you do get those cycles. So adding on to that, a couple things that I noticed change from Division 1 to Division 2, which is pretty much what I'm basing this video on, is the play style is definitely going to change. You can see right here, I was trying to fight NPC. I was definitely playing Division 1 style, you know, not taking cover, and I kind of learned my lesson. You see right here, instantly one shot. I tried to heal through it. You can see I got bodied, like, instantly, like, no matter what. Even with my little drone, and I know people are going to ask, like, what's that green beam following you? It's basically like a baby support station that follows you. Like it gives you a little armor heal over time. It's super slow, so you obviously you have to be in cover, take full advantage of it, but you can honestly move around and feel kind of safe compared to when you don't have it. It's definitely a necessity. By far my favorite skill so far. We didn't get to dive deep into the other skills, so we don't really know if there's any other better heals. I know the Seeker Mine is a heal, and I know the Hive has a heal, so I haven't got to try the other two, so I don't know which is the best. But I like the fact that the drone follows you around and you can put it on your teammates and get healed. So for the people who wanted to know what changes as far as healing, if there's any healing skills, there are healing skills. They just aren't as crazy as the ones we're used to, like our OP reclaimer stations and our defibs. No, we have a smaller version. So for the people who want to know if there's heals, yes, there are heals. It is definitely different style of heal. It's pretty much armor. I didn't see anything that gives you actual health. It just pretty much replenishes your armor, so you don't have to waste an armor kit, and it does do it in the middle of a fight, but it doesn't sustain in the way that other things would do in Division 1. The biggest change I see as far as when it comes to healing is, even though you can target your teammates, it's not necessarily dedicated support, because as far as I know, I didn't see any way to like buff that heal or anything. Maybe there are mods in later game, and we'll find that out when we get the full game. But as of right now, from what I see, it's kind of like a base heal. So pretty much whatever build you run, you get the same heal as anybody else. So that's just something to look forward to. And as far as the cover mechanics, people are already upset. Like, I actually had made a movement video. I don't know if I'm going to post it after this or before this. By the time I have recorded this, I hadn't decided yet. But for the people who didn't understand that the game is going to go more cover based, it's not in a bad way, but it's definitely something you're going to feel the need to go to cover. Not necessarily because you have to, but because you see how stressful it is trying to face tank and keeping the bad habits that we have from Division 1. And I think that's the biggest thing, is transferring your bad habits that you're used to, which are bad habits. Face tanking an NPC, standing in the open, relying on a striker heal or something like that, or a million different heals, is definitely a bad habit when you bring it into Division 2, because the damage is so much different when your armor is taken off. Like, yeah, you probably feel safe while your armor's on, but as soon as that armor is stripped, you're pretty much like dead. If you're standing in the open and you don't have nowhere to get cover and your armor is gone, like, bro, chuck it up, it's GG, you're going to get bodied. And especially if against another player, if you end up doing PvP, I'm pretty sure they're going to capitalize on that. So maintain that armor bar is everything. You can see right here, I got kind of savage and ran up, and it's possible. It's just not like it's impossible to leave cover. It's just something that you're going to have to take on in comparison to Division 1. And I think changing that is going to be the hardest thing for a lot of people. Even for myself, me and my whole team, like literally, that's all we did the whole time was our bad habits from Division 1. And, you know, we learned as we went. And even though we knew and we were told and we played, we tried our best to see if we can kind of replicate that in any way. And it's kind of something that most players are going to have to get used to, but it's definitely worth getting used to because the game is definitely more fun. You feel like you're moving with a purpose. You feel like you're actually being tactical, and you feel like James Bond when you get those kills and you survive. So that's another big change. Another big thing that a lot of players are probably going to have to get used to is the facts that mods are different. Now that you can unlock your mods for all your weapons in one go, basically it's like a perk system type thing, like where if you unlock it for pistols, it goes for all pistols. You don't have to keep farming for a certain piece or anything. A lot of people are going to have to get used to the fact that recoil patterns are definitely a thing. But it's cool because when you aim down sight, I don't think that this is in Division 1. If it is, I'm tripping. I haven't noticed it. But when you ADS with any gun, or especially assault rifles, you can see it a lot because obviously you're going to beam across the map. You can tell where your bullets are going by the little middle dot in the crosshair. And that's a subtle change, quality of life change, but it'll definitely show you when you put on mods the difference, because a lot of people didn't really understand the difference between like stability other than the recoil and stuff. But when you can see your bullets going in a straighter line, as far as they're not flying all over the screen when you ADS, you're going to start being able to mod accordingly and being able to understand it better. And I think that's a really good change in the game that's going to cause a lot of people to truly start modding deep into their weapons instead of just going straight for raw damage. You're going to start realizing, okay, like I totally want my gun to have less bloom when it goes all over the place when I'm spraying, so I can land more shots. And even if it's not doing the crazy amount of damage that I'm used to, it's super effective because my shots are landing, whereas other people's are going all over the place. You can see right here, like with the SMG up close, the single shot, if you watch the dot in the middle, it doesn't move anywhere damn near because I'm close. And then the closer you are, obviously, the less it spreads. And in that little area when you ADS, anything in that circle, your bullet can go. So if you have stability and you have anything that's going towards your aiming, that'll like concentrate that shot and you can land more shots. And I think that alone is going to change a lot of builds because people are going to have to start taking that seriously. And another big change I'm glad is a little quality of life thing. One of the biggest problems I had is like a skill build player is like if I put down a skill, it was super annoying when I accidentally tapped it and blow it up. But now in order to blow up your skill, you have to pretty much hold down the button. You're going to see right here, I tried to destroy my turret. I was like, oh, it's not popping, so I have to learn. And you see that little bar on it. As soon as you hold it and it completes, it'll blow up your turret. So now you can kind of have more control over your skills instead of putting it down and just in the middle of a fight not thinking and popping it, and it'll blow up before you even get to use it and you have to wait for the cooldown. Now they kind of give you a little leeway for that. So that's pretty much the little quality of life things I've seen, other than the fact that some of the menus and stuff are optimized. But for the people who want to know like pretty much what are the biggest things that got changed, in my opinion, that's basically it. And as far as gunplay, it's definitely been polished and cleaned up to the point where every weapon feels viable now, and I love that. That's my main thing. If you want to take the biggest upgrade as far as gameplay with Division 2 is the fact that all weapons are viable. Every single weapon I picked up felt good. Every single weapon I picked up felt like it had a purpose. It had true situational results that were being put out. Like in Division 1, if you use a marksman rifle at long range, you're pretty much at the same mercy as a house at long range. Nope, now that this game changed off drop-offs and stuff, you can definitely feel rewarded for your playstyle. If you're a sub player, you get your crits up close. If you're an AR player and you're distancing yourself from a sub player, they won't be able to land crits at a certain distance, so you can kind of like space them out. And certain things like that, marksman rifles are way more accurate now, and I love that. Single tap weapons are actually amazing, and I think that alone is a big change for me and has really caused me to be really excited when it comes to just gameplay, period. Not even just PvE, just the fact that I know how the health works in this game, the fact that I have options to choose between subs, ARs, rifles, marksman rifles, snipers, shotguns, and now that we have this split in between the rifles and what their roles are, it's definitely going to open up a lot of options for people who want to play the game based off of their favorite type of weapon and not be limited to ARs and subs like we were in Division 1. So you could definitely be excited for that, and definitely be excited for the fact that loot definitely feels good to pick up, and everything you pick up is definitely worth looking at now. So that's just something for you guys to look forward to for the little upgrades. If you guys have any other questions about just casual upgrades, let me know. I'll tell you whatever you need to know, and I got a lot of videos dropping for y'all real soon. So I love y'all, appreciate y'all, thank y'all for watching. be excited. Your boy